People say accidents happen, but what if the person who caused it was smiling when it happened? What if your own mother looked you in the eye and said, "It was an accident," even though you saw her hand still resting on the stair rail? My sister Agochi didn't just fall. She was pushed by our mother. Growing up, it was always Agochi this, Agochi that. Agochi, bring me water. Agochi, your dress is so beautiful. Agochi, why can't Adiz be more like you? I was used to it. The way my mother's face lit up when she saw her, the way she would smile so widely, her dimples sinking deep into her cheek. But with me, nothing. Just chores, shouting, and complaints. They said I was the quieter one, the one who stayed out of trouble. But somehow, my mother still found ways to blame me for things I didn't do. Agochi was a star. Everybody said so. Fair-skinned, with long legs and the kind of laugh that made people turn. She knew it too, but she wasn't proud. She was kind. That was what hurt the most. I wanted to hate her, but I couldn't, even when I tried. But my mother, she smiled on the outside. Inside, she was boiling. And we didn't know how deep it ran until it was too late. One day, when I was 14 and Agochi was 15, I walked into the kitchen. My mother was cooking, and she didn't hear me come in. She was talking to herself. I should have left her in the hospital. I should have gone home alone. I paused. Then she noticed me and changed the subject. "Go and wash those plates. Lazy girl." I didn't understand what she meant. I thought maybe she was just tired or drunk, but it wasn't a one-time thing. Sometimes at night, she would come back from her shop and look at Agochi in a strange way. Her lips would be tight, her eyes narrowed. She'd mutter things. Once she said, "You look just like him." That same useless charm. I asked, "Who, Mama? Who is she talking about?" But Agochi would just say, "Ignore her. She's tired." We didn't know she was building something in her heart, a quiet hatred. After my sister died, I found it, a small red notebook, tucked behind the water heater in her room. The handwriting was familiar, my mother's. I recognized the way she wrote her S with a sharp curve. I wish I had found it earlier. The pages were filled with pain. Agochi is not mine. She never was. She is the reason my marriage failed. Every time I look at her, I see his betrayal. I see what he did to me. I pretend because that's what a woman must do. But one day, I won't pretend anymore. I didn't know what to do. Should I tell someone? Burn it? Confront her? I folded the diary back and hid it. I didn't sleep that night. I just watched the ceiling and cried. It was a Saturday. Hot. No light. No breeze. I was in the backyard, hanging clothes. I heard voices. My mother and Agochi. Upstairs. Arguing. My heart started to beat fast. They never argued loud enough for anyone to hear. But that day, I heard everything. "You lied to me." Agochi screamed. "You were never mine," my mother shouted. Then a loud bang, a crash, a scream. I dropped the bucket of pegs and ran. By the time I got inside, it was too late. Agochi was at the bottom of the stairs, neck bent, eyes wide open, blood under her head. And my mother, she was standing at the top, her face calm, too calm. Then she screamed, but it was too fake, like someone practicing how to cry. It was an accident. She fell. "Adiz," she slipped. But I had seen her hand, still holding the rail, still firm. I wanted to shout, to scream, to run at her, but I froze. Everyone believed her, the neighbors, the church women, even the police. Sorry for your loss. God knows best. They carried my sister in a white cloth, buried her under the mango tree in the village. My mother wore white. She cried loudest, rolled on the ground, fainted twice. People said she was strong. They said God would reward her for being such a devoted mother. But I knew the truth. That night, I heard her humming in the kitchen, frying plantain. I sat in the dark and watched her, and that's when I knew my sister didn't die. She was killed, and the killer was slicing plantain like nothing happened. A week after the funeral, Auntie Rachel, my late father's sister, came to the house. She had always been distant, but this time, she said she had something important to share. She pulled me aside. "Adiz, did your mother ever tell you what happened between her and your father before he died?" I shook my head. She looked at me for a long time. Then she said, "Your father had a child before he met your mother, a baby girl. He didn't know until years later. The girl's mother brought her to him when she was 7. I was confused, and that girl was a Gochi." I felt my legs shaking. I leaned against the wall. "You mean Ugochi wasn't really my mother's child?" Auntie Rachel nodded slowly. "Your mother raised her because she loved your father, but she never forgave him for hiding it. And when he died, she lost her mind. She blamed Ugochi for everything." I wanted to vomit. Everything made sense now. The anger, the resentment, the whispers. That night, I took the diary and walked to the sitting room. My mother was watching a Yoruba movie and laughing. I switched off the TV. She looked up. "What's wrong with you?" I threw the diary on the table. Her face changed. "Where did you get that?" "You killed her." "Mind your words." "Adiz." "You pushed her down the stairs." She stood up so fast the chair fell backward. "I did what I had to do. That girl was a curse. She ruined my life." She was shouting now. "Your father loved her more than me. He built this house in her name. Everything was about her. What about me? What about my pain?" "You killed your own daughter," I whispered. She slapped me, but I didn't cry. I stared at her, and she knew her secret was out. I left that night, took my school bag, a few clothes, and the diary. I went straight to Auntie Rachel, told her everything. She took me in. We reported to the police. It was hard. They laughed at first, said there was no proof, but the diary helped. And something else too. 2 months later, Mom and Ketchy, our upstairs neighbor, came forward. "I saw it," she said. "I saw her push the girl through the Louvre window, but I was scared to say anything." The police reopened the case. My mother was arrested. She denied everything at first, but the pressure was too much. She finally confessed. The court case lasted 7 months. Every hearing, I sat at the back, my heart heavy. When the judge gave his ruling, I didn't feel joy, just emptiness, life imprisonment. My mother wept, begged, but the damage was done. Ugochi was gone, and nothing could bring her back. Sometimes I still see her, standing at the top of the stairs, smiling, wearing the white dress she was buried in. She doesn't speak. She just looks at me. Maybe she's waiting for me to forgive, or maybe she's just making sure I don't forget. I won't. I can't, because my sister didn't fall. She was pushed by our own mother, and I will carry that truth forever. When the truth finally came out, everything changed. It started with Mama's arrest. She didn't struggle. She didn't cry. She just sat quietly as the police cuffed her hands behind her back and walked her out of the compound. Neighbors stared. Some shook their heads. Some whispered. Others hissed loudly. She used to walk around like a queen. Now she was being dragged out like a criminal. At the police station, I sat across from her. My hands were shaking. She looked at me. "So you finally did it. You really went to the police?" I didn't answer. She chuckled bitterly. "You think I killed her on purpose?" "You pushed her, Mama," I said, tears streaming down. "You pushed her with your words, with your anger, with your pride, and finally with your hands." She lowered her head. "I told her be careful. I told her that boy would ruin her. I didn't mean to, but you did." The trial began 3 months later. The whole community came. Newspapers carried it. A mother accused of murdering her own daughter. Her defense lawyer tried to twist everything. That she didn't push her, that it was an accident, that the girl slipped. But the statements, the old wounds, the neighbor's testimony, my confession, and most importantly, the doctor's autopsy, they all added up. The court didn't see it as just a push. They saw it as years of abuse that led to murder. She was sentenced to life in prison. As they read the sentence, Mama didn't cry. She stood straight, proud even, but when the guards came to take her away, she looked at me and whispered, You'll understand when you become a mother. I didn't reply. I couldn't, because no child should have to understand that kind of hatred. Her name trended on Twitter for days. People online called her the Witch of Abakaliki. Others dug into her past, bringing up how she mistreated her sister, her own mother, even her classmates. She was transferred to the Women's Correctional Center in Port Harcourt. She shares a cell with 3 other women. No one visits her, not even our relatives. And every year, on Chioma's birthday, I send flowers to her grave. And every year, I write a letter to Mama in prison. I never send it, but I write it anyway. Sometimes the letters start with, "Why did you hate her so much?" Other times, "You didn't have to kill her to win." But my favorite one says, "Chioma forgave you. I hope one day I can too." Because that's what this pain is, heavy, but not impossible to carry. Chioma didn't die for nothing. She died to expose the darkness behind the smiles in our family. And now, even though justice came late, it came. Mama's fate wasn't just prison. It was a loss of everything. Her name, her family, her freedom, and the title she held so dear, mother, gone, forever. Do you think her mother's punishment was good enough?